problem that would have required an expensive trip to space for a repair mission just got solved by two PhD students and a little bit of coding. And their tool is called Amigo. Hello and welcome to ThePrint. This is Akanksha Mishra. You're watching Scientifix, where I will be taking you through this week's top science news from across the world. Our first story today is about the immense power of coding and artificial intelligence because two PhD students from the University of Sydney just solved a celestial problem without leaving the Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope, arguably the world's largest telescope, currently in the L2 Lagrange point in space, had a technical problem in its aperture masking interferometer, because of which its images were becoming blurry. Given that the entire point of the James Webb Space Telescope was to capture high-resolution images of planets and stars, this meant a significant obstacle. When these problems happened earlier, like with the Hubble telescope, astronauts were literally sent to space to repair it. I know, it's quite a costly mechanic visit. However, this time two PhD students of the professor who created the AMI for JWST decided to fix the problem using AI. They created a tool called Amigo, which used simulations and neural networks to model how light and electronics behave inside the telescope. This tool found a tiny distortion and then digitally removed it, thus restoring Webb's full clarity in images. This incident shows how far science has come, especially in space technology, and it shows the real-life implications of AI applications. In fact, to commemorate their role in fixing the JWST, the two PhD students even decided to get tattoos of the telescope on their arms. Next up, have you ever wondered why a species declining or going extinct matters? Apart from losing those animals and not seeing them in the world anymore, what is the reason why any species dying out is significant for the world? Well, a recent study by Oxford University's Environmental Change Institute answers the question by explaining how the decline of any animal species directly impacts how an ecosystem functions. So they looked at the African ecosystem and found that it has lost 1/3 of its natural power and energy since pre-colonial time. What does this mean? Well, every landscape has actors that are doing different roles. There's predatory animals, there's pollinator bees, there's scavenging vultures, even small mushrooms and spores, which are each keeping the place alive. The energy that comes in from the sun is taken in by the plants through photosynthesis, is then transferred through each of these living beings in a complex food web. When an entire species dies off, a whole chunk of this web is broken, which leads to a chain effect on the rest of the species and eventually the ecosystem. The Oxford study found that the decline of animals like elephants, rhinos, and buffaloes has completely changed the African landscape and reduced the energy flow in the ecosystem by more than 30%. This means that when these species numbers decreased, their ability to support certain environmental processes also decreased, resulting in the entire ecosystem losing out. This framework also helps frame better policies about extinction because it goes to the heart of why every species matters in the world. Next up, do you remember Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King? Well, Timon was a kind of a mongoose which is called a meerkat, and they are these cute furry animals that are found in the Kalahari Desert in South Africa. And a new study has found that these animals are parts of mobs that provide them with health insurance. Just kidding, but not really. A new study in the Journal of Animal Ecology reveals that a meerkat social group plays the biggest role in shaping its gut microbiome, which is what provides it immunity from diseases. And the social group that meerkats live in are called mobs. So in these mobs, the meerkats are not just sharing food and grooming habits, they're also swapping gut bacteria amongst each other, which helps them survive the desert. Researchers studied over 500 samples from 146 wild meerkats and found that mob members share a distinctive social microbiome in their gut, more so than they share with people in their own families. In fact, when meerkats join a new mob, their gut bacteria quickly adapts to be similar to that of their new friends. This bacterial exchange likely happens through close contact and grooming each other. Friendship really is gut deep for these desert dwellers. Finally, ice from 6 million years ago is our clue to a warmer world. That's right, a new study in PNAS journal describes how scientists have discovered Antarctic ice up to 6 million years old, which is the oldest direct glimpse yet into the Earth's ancient atmosphere. To be sure, it's not just the ice that's been preserved all this while. Along with the ice, it's also preserved air bubbles from that long ago and every other bacterial or microbial life. This discovery, which was made in the Allen Hills Blue Ice area, dramatically extends the timeline of our ice core climate records, which were originally only 800,000 years old. By preserving these traces of ancient air and ancient temperature, these ice cores provide us with a new window into periods when the earth was warmer and the sea levels were much higher. It's going to help scientists understand how Antarctic ice and global climate evolved during the past warm eras and what this means for our future eras. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning into The Print.